Hey everyone, what is going on? So we have another meta guide for you today in the Evolution Cup. So the Evolution Cup begins tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and it's going to run alongside the Open Great, Ultra, and Master League. So you could play whichever meta you feel comfortable with. Now, when the Evolution Cup was originally around, I did hit Legend in it, so I'm excited to try it again. I will talk about my Legend team and the Solid team options, but yeah, I'm looking forward to the Evolution Cup. So basically for the Evolution Cup is you can only use middle stage Pokemon. So they have to be able to evolve again. It has to be a 3-stage evolution. So for example, Charmander, Charmeleon, Charizard, you could use Charmeleon, but something like Kabutops and Kabuto, you can't not use it because Kabutops does not evolve. Makes sense? Makes sense. But let's go ahead and dive right into the video and see what we got going on for us. So for the S rank, we do have Vigoroth. Vigoroth is going to be the best Pokemon in this meta with Counter and Body Slam. Super spammy, super spammy. It's just such a great save swap. I mean, for the most part, it has to watch out for the ghost types like Dusclops. But even then, I mean, you're resisting the ghost attacks from Dusclops, so really only Dusclops can hit you with Ice Punch. So Vigoroth is still doing pretty well. It's just such a great Pokemon. Next up, we have Zweilous. So we have a few dragons, Zweilous, Hakamo-o, and Dragonair. So when it comes to Zweilous, it is a Dark and Dragon type, so it is weak to that counter attack, whereas Hakamo-o and Dragonair are not going to be weak to Vigoroth, right? Like Zweilous is. So Zweilous does have that downfall, but it's super oppressive, all three of them with the Dragon Breath. Hakamo-o doesn't have Dragon Breath, it has Dragon Tail, but still really, really fast, really strong, hits hard. I mean, there's really a very limited amount of fairy types, if any, right? So you're not going to see them too often. Those dragons going to be great, great Pokemon. Then we have Machoke. Machoke, or Shadow Machoke, is really good. It has Crush Chop as well as Karate Chop. But the thing is, the Crush Chop is a legacy move, so you do have to Elite TM it if you don't already have one. If you have a bunch of Elite TMs, it might be worth investing in. But yeah, as long as it stays away from Ghost, because it only has fighting moves, I believe. So keep that in mind. But other than that, no, it's getting to the moves pretty fast. It's pretty strong as well. So next up, we talked about Dragonair. We have Golbat. So Golbat is interesting because back when the original Evolution Cup was around, Wing Attack did not have that buff. It has the buff now. However, it also has a Poison Jab nerf. So it kind of evens itself out, although it does get to Shadow Ball that much faster. So there's a little bit of a buff when it comes to Golbat. But Golbat was good in the Evolution Cup. It's still going to be good, I believe. Moving on to the A rank, we have the Dusclops. So Dusclops is a ghost type. Now, I don't think that Dusclops had Poltegeist back when the original Evolution Cup was around, but I think Poltegeist is a great move for Dusclops. And I think, yeah, you'll definitely see it for sure. It's that tanky to get to it. Now, I have seen a lot of return on Dusclops. I don't think you want return and Poltegeist. So if you're going the Poltegeist route, you probably want Ice Punch. If you're going the return route, you still want Ice Punch. You don't want Poltegeist and return, I don't believe. But no, I mean, definitely a really tanky Pokemon, and it could get to those Poltegeist attacks really fast. Charger Bug, another great Pokemon. I battled this quite a few times, and I think Charger Bug is a great Pokemon. I don't know if I used it in the Evolution Cup, but I think it's a really good Pokemon. Then we have Celio. Celio is another really, really good Pokemon with the Powder Snow, Body Slam spam, right? And then Aurora Beam is the move you want because there's so many dragon types, right? It could hit all those dragons. It could hit Golbat. You want it over Water Pulse. Just such a great Pokemon all around. Great save swap as well. Moving on to the B rank, we have Chansey. Yes, Chansey is in this meta. I've battled Chansey, and it's always frustrating to battle it because it's so tanky. So even if they save swap Chansey and you respond with Vigoroth, Chansey's still going to be able to take those counter attacks, take those body slams like a champ, because a level 50 Chansey is no joke. So it's absolutely insane. It's frustrating to play against, I'll give you that, but it is going to be a thing, and you will see it. Then for Piloswine, Piloswine's another decent one. I believe I prefer Celio, but Piloswine's another decent Pokemon to use. Then we have Nidorino and Nidorina with, I mean, pretty fast, right? One of them has Thunderbolt, the other one has Ice Beam, I believe. One of them has Poison Jab, which was nerfed, but still a pretty good Pokemon. But these are, I think, pretty expensive as well. I think they have to be XL'd. I could be wrong about that, because I didn't use them, but I think I remember at least one, maybe both, having to be XL'd. I could be wrong about that. But I think so. I think so. But either way, those are going to be really good. I battled them. I had trouble with them when I went up against them. They're resisting Vigoroth counter attacks, and Vigoroth is a great Pokemon, so keep that in mind. So for the other options, we do have Haunter. So Haunter probably could be booted up to like B rank or even A rank maybe. I think Dusclops is better, but Haunter is so... It's so frail, but it's so strong, right? It hits like an absolute truck. So it's just such a great Pokemon. And it gets to the moves really fast. We have Marshtomp, another interesting pick for this meta. Magneton, I think I battled this a handful of times, not too often. It wasn't too common. Swadloon could be interesting. Swadloon could be interesting. I think it has Razor Leaf, if I'm not mistaken. Let me know if I'm wrong about that, but it's going to be doing... Well, I mean, the dragons are resisting it if it is... I could be wrong. I have to double check on that. But either way, then we have a Alolan Graveler. We have another fairy type not another one. We have like the only fairy type Floette. So Floette, I was talking about fairies, or did I talk about fairies? Maybe not. But either way, dragons are going to obviously... fairies are obviously immune to dragon attack. Not immune. They're immune in the main games, but they're taking double resisted damage. So if you have a Floette, that could be pretty good because you're going to be double resisting all the Dragon Breath, Dragon Tail damage, and that's going to be really strong for you. So Floette could be pretty good. I mean, it is really good. It's just, will a lot of trainers have it? Probably not. Then we have Fracture, another dragon type. It has Dragon Tail as well. I think the other dragons, Wilius, Hakamo-o and Dragonair are better, but still, it's another option for you. Gerda, another fighting type. We have Galarian, Linoon. Probably don't really want to use Galarian, Linoon because of counter Vigoroth and even Machoke if you happen to see it. It's double weak to fighting attacks. Staravia, and then Poliwhirl. Poliwhirl could be pretty good. I believe Poliwhirl is used a little bit. And then Ivysaur, which is a Razor Leaf user. But again, all the dragons resisting Razor Leaf. Nidorino resisting Razor Leaf as well, though I get those probably won't be too common. But Golbat is resisting Razor Leaf. Golbat was pretty common, if I do remember, as a response to like Vigoroth. But either way, that's going to be the Evolution Cup for you. You're probably going to see the SA and B tier Pokemon the most. But let's go ahead and move on to the solid team options. So, for the first team, this is the team I hit Legend with in the original Evolution Cup. Going to be Vigoroth, Hakamo-o, and Celio. I used the regular Celio. I think the Shadow one works just as good, if not better. Now, this team is ABA weak to fighting, but if you're going up against the Vigoroth against Vigoroth, you're doing super effective damage towards the opposing Vigoroth as well, so it's not really too big of a deal. If you go up against Machoke in the lead, that could be rough, but again, the only reason I don't think Machoke is going to be super common is because of that Legacy Cross Chop. So this team worked out really well for me, and just did great for me overall. I mean, the safe swap could be either Hakamo-o or Celio, really depending on the lead, but Vigoroth usually picking up some pretty good leads, if I do say so myself. Next up, we have Machoke with both Nidorino and Nidorina. Again, I think this team could work well. Of course, this whole team does well against Vigoroth, for the record. The backline is resisting, counter, and with the Machoke, you're doing super effective damage with the Karate Chop and Cross Chop. But again, it is a legacy move, so it could do pretty well in this meta. And then the next up, we have Golbat with Celio as well as Charger Bug. So I think Charger Bug, pretty good save swap. Actually, really good save swap. It's going to be really good in this meta, I think. And yeah, overall, pretty good team. Celio can do well against those dragon types, right? Which are going to be really common in this meta. Next up, we have a double fighting team. Vigoroth is not fighting, but you get the point. It has counter, and then Machoke with that legacy Karate Chop and Cross Chop. Oh, Karate Chop's not legacy, but Cross Chop is legacy. And then Dusclops with the... I like Poltergeist and Ice Beam. I guess if you're running a purified one, you could go with the return, but I think Poltergeist probably the way to go. But yeah, pretty good team. And then next up, we have Dragonair in the lead. You could go with another dragon type. I put Dragonair in the lead. I don't want Wilius in the lead because then it will be ABA weak to counter. I think Dragonair works or Hakamo-o. And then Vigoroth as a safe swap and Golbat in the lead. Golbat's a really powerful Pokemon in this meta, no joke about it. It really is. Or Shadow Golbat, whichever one you prefer. And then the next team, we're going to have double ice in the back. Celio and Poliwhirl with Golbat in the lead. So of course, the backline is going to be weak to fighting, but... the Golbat is resisting fighting, so you could lure it out with Poliwhirl or something. Yeah, Poliwhirl I think probably pretty good because it has a hard-hitting avalanche attack. So even if they respond with a Vigoroth or something, you could still maybe threaten a shield. And you know, I think these are some pretty good teams. Let me know if you're excited for the Evolution Cup. Let me know which meta you're going to be playing. Is it going to be Evolution? Is it going to be Great, Ultra, or Master? I'm really curious what you all have to say, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.